What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor Dark Joker with this week's video. This week, we're gonna go over how balance in the Force works in Star Wars, like my theory as far as that goes. You know, some people say it's equal light, equal dark. Some people say it's absence of dark, or the dark is just so weak. But how does it actually work? Who knows? Who knows? I'm going to get into that right now. Let's start with some background. So, and where the universe was created, it was created 13 billion BBY, and that's around when a lot of civilizations started to form. In response to a lot of this, the Wills, who basically were the gods of in Star Wars, they created the universe. There's different factions that formed. Some factions wanted to like control creation, basically make them be like mindless robots, all that. Then you had one faction that tried to protect like creation's freedom. And so that's led to the War of the Wills, where you had the big war going on. And so a lot of the evil factions, they traveled to the mortal plane, and they empowered mortals you know being able to use unnatural force techniques with very little limits. They basically empowered the world to that, because generally if mortals did use unnatural force techniques, there'd be severe consequences, and there can still be severe consequences even with the few limits, but there's not as many limits. And which is how we get to Disney being Disney's retardedness. And also the evil factions unlock the world between worlds, which allow mortals to change time, which is an unnatural thing. And the large amount of deaths that occurred throughout this war amongst mortals and wills, and all the unnatural force techniques, it created this gigantic wound in the force. And it was big enough that it caused the whole force to be unbalanced. And so, with a lot of the aftermath of this war, so the evil wills, they were exiled from the cosmic force, and they basically were trapped in the living force, and then they started conquering different galaxies. So that led to a barrier that separated the main galaxy that we see in Star Wars from the rest of the universe, and then all the space anomalies in the unknown regions. Basically, the Celestials created that barrier with guidance from the good wills in order to keep the will exiles out. And how would the force be rebalanced? So with the War of the Wills, a lot of wills were dead. And then with the evil wills exiled, there was not enough wills within the cosmic force to rebalance the force. So what the wills what the good wills idea was to have the midichlorians create a chosen one using their life force. To basically, this being would eventually grow strong enough while in the living force to eventually heal the force, and then absorb the life forces, like the spirits of the will exiles, to in order to finish healing the force and then completely rebalance it. Basically preventing all this crap from happening again. And that's it. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the balance of force is necessarily a light and dark kind thing. It's more about the basically how what mortals are able to do, what limits are on, like what the deities do. Has to do with like basically like mortals are not going past their natural limits with the force without any extreme consequences. And it's like, ooh, I can resurrect someone all willy nilly. Oh, it's but the flesh wound. No, that's not how balance. No, balance is to prevent that from happening, whether for good purposes or evil purposes. It can't going against nature of the force. So basically, it's when the natural uses of the force is dominant, and like unnatural force is basically severely inhibited and basically can't be used to extreme amounts like this. So without consequences. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you agree with this theory, if you think even there's theory about how the force got unbalanced and how it will be rebalanced, You can put those in comments and all that, or make your own videos for it. If you like, you can like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and look forward to the next video.